Hello, I'm Xmas Jackson Waxon Flaxon, and you're watching the Christian News Network. Recently, one of our correspondents, Christianity, had an interview with the one and only Jesus Christ. I will show you that interview later on. In the meantime, I'll tell you exactly what Christianity is. For those of you who don't know, Christianity is a religion based on the teachings of Jesus Christ. There are many denominations of the religion, including the well-known Catholicism and the not-so-well-known Exclusive Brethren. The Bible, the book of Christianity, contains the Old and New Testaments. The Old Testament is basically the Jewish Torah, and the New Testament talks about the teachings of Jesus Christ. Other sacred texts include Revelation and Didache. Revelation is about disasters, suffering, and the Battle of Armageddon. Didache is claimed to be the first Christian document. It is basically a manual giving unique details regarding baptism, Eucharist, and church leadership from an early period of Christian development. Also, very briefly, most Christians believe that Jesus, the Son of God, was sent to save mankind from death and sin. They also believe in justification by faith and one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. We now cut to Red Rudolph for one of our human interest stories.
Thanks, Xmas. Christmas is one of the largest holidays in the world. Stores dedicate entire months to this one holiday alone. An estimated 95% of American Christians celebrate Christmas. And even more shocking, 80% of non-Christians celebrate Christmas as well. The day for Christmas has been set to the 25th of December, or January 7th for those of you Orthodox Christians. This revered holiday has many distinct traditions, many of which aren't from the actual Christian traditions of Christmas. That being said, Christmas has evolved in many ways from its original celebration. In these modern times, most people celebrate by the giving and receiving of gifts, almost completely forgetting the roots of this wonderful holiday. In the past, the church worried about pagan influence on the Christian festival, but nowadays, over-commercialism is the main concern associated with the holiday. For example, the Friday after Thanksgiving is referred to as Black Friday because of the astonishing amount of shopping for gifts that takes place. That being said, let us explore the roots of this worldwide holiday. Christmas began as a holy day to mark the birth of Jesus, the Son of God. Matthew and Luke, the Gospels, gave two different accounts of the events, and it is from these the Nativity story is put together. For the viewers that don't know, the story of Nativity tells us that Joseph and the Virgin Mary traveled to Bethlehem so Joseph could be part of a Roman census. Upon their arrival, they found there were no inns to stay in, but they were offered to stay in the innkeeper's stable. It was there where Mary gave birth to Jesus. Now the Gospels never mention the date for Jesus' birth, but in the 4th century AD, Pope Julius I set the 25th of December as the date for Christmas. This was his attempt to Christianize some other pagan celebrations that also occurred at this time of the year. The date of December 25th was used because many other cultures had midwinter celebrations that occurred around this time because the winter solstice had just recently passed. The solstice was celebrated because to the people in the past it meant the days were now longer and the sun was strengthening. Later on in medieval times, approximately 14 to 1400 AD, Christmas was celebrated as a 12-day festival from Christmas Eve on. Now imagine that, 12 full days to celebrate Christmas. This all came to an end in the 17th century when the celebration of Christmas was strongly suppressed by Christian Puritans in Europe and even America. The Puritans did this because they believed that the celebration of Christmas was too closely linked to the pagan and Roman celebrations, especially the lively and often alcohol-filled celebration of Saturnalia, the popular Roman midwinter celebration. And in 1644, all Christmas activities were banned in England. This Christmas slum continued until Victorian Age England, which lasted from 1837 to 1901. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is actually what inspired the middle classes from America and England to start spending more money on the holiday and start celebrating Christmas as a special time for the family. Victorians gave us the modern Christmas we know today by reviving things like Christmas carols and even adding new things like the giving of Christmas cards, much like you would at Valentine's Day. They also made the Christmas tree popular. The origins of these traditions are not all from the Victorian Age England, however. A number of common traditions were actually attempted by the church to Christianize other cultures' traditions. One example of this is the use of holly. The church made it into a symbol for Jesus' crown of thorns. The church also brought carols back, especially in the 1950s when American ministers started integrating them into their services. Other traditions were borrowed from other countries as well. The Christmas tree was actually a German tradition which was brought to Britain and then popularized by the royal family. Father Christmas, also known as Santa Claus here in America, are in both Christian and European traditions. The common depiction of him nowadays, though, is from American card makers that used that image in Victorian age. Even more surprising, Father Christmas has his own traditions that arose from different cultures. His sleigh, which is pulled by reindeer, is believed to be from Scandinavian mythology, and the leaving of mince pies in a glass of brandy is believed to be a remnant from pagan traditions. This specific tradition has changed over time, though, and now people leave milk and cookies. So as you can see, the jolly holiday of Christmas has evolved dramatically throughout its history. That's all from me. We now cut to a commercial break.
This news broadcast is brought to you by Super Cats. Hi, I'm Juan Gatto, and did you know you can get one of my new patented Super Cats? Let's check it out. My patented Super Cats can even change gravity, whether that's on or off. My patented Super Cat will eat your grass for you, and it will look like your lawn was just mown half an hour ago. Did I mention they can go at supersonic speed? My patented Super Cats can even be used as a pillow. They'll even shake their head really fast for your amusement. So what are you waiting for? Call the number on the bottom of the screen and buy one of my patented Super Cats right now! No Super Cats were harmed in the making of this commercial.
Hey there, fellow Christians. My name is Rose Egan, and I'm here to tell you about a famous man who rose again. And on that day, thousands of years later, we celebrate and honor him. So now, let's take a blast from the past. Oops, too far. When the Romans captured Jesus and crucified him on the cross, the Romans placed his body inside a tomb. And then, after they placed his body inside a tomb, they rolled a huge boulder in front of the opening so that nobody could get inside.
If that wasn't enough, they posted guards in front of the tomb so that no one could even come close. It seemed like a foolproof plan. Well, one night, a mysterious force shook the ground beneath the soldiers' feet. They were put to sleep by an angel. The angel rolled the boulder away, and Jesus was resurrected from the dead and walked out like he was never even killed.
According to the BBC, the most solemn week of the Christian year, Holy Week, is the week leading up to Easter, and is the week during which Christians particularly remember the last week of Jesus' life. Holy Week begins on Palm Sunday. Easter Sunday is the culmination of Holy Week. Easter commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is the most important Christian festival and the one celebrated with the greatest joy. The date of Easter changes every year, and several other Christian festivals fix their dates by reference to Easter. Churches are filled with flowers, and there are special hymns and songs, but not all Easter customs are Christian. Some, such as the Easter Bunny, are pagan in origin. We now cut to Christianity for an interview with Jesus Christ.
Hi, my name is Christianity. I recently got an exclusive interview with the one and only Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. Jesus was born in Nazareth over 2,000 years ago during the Roman Empire. Jesus has performed many miracles in his life, such as healing the blind and paralyzed, curing sickness, and raising himself from the dead. I talked to him about his basic beliefs and how he plans to spread his beliefs, and what his death means for all of us. What are your beliefs?
My beliefs are to love God and love your neighbors.
How do you influence others to follow you?
I influence others by healing and performing miracles and encourage people to love each other.
Why were you crucified?
I died to bring humanity together with God and to rid the world of sin.
How will you spread your teachings?
I've selected disciples to follow me and spread my message. I have also performed many miracles so that people may believe in me.
How are you connected to God?
I am the Son of God who was sent here to save mankind from death and sin.
Thank you for that interview, Jesus. Now we'll send it over to Chris Aiden for his report on the Crusades.
Today, we have a special report for you. We're going back to the 11th century to talk about a dark time in Christian history, the Crusades. Long ago, Muslim armies had started to push into the area of the Holy Lands. This worried the current Pope, Pope Urban II. He called the Council of Clermont to decide what they should do. He called a religious war against the Muslims, now occupying the Holy Lands. Tens of thousands responded to his call, but not all of them took his directions. Before the Pope's army had a chance to start their crusades, the common people had already started their own. This ended in the massacre of several Jews. Back to the main battles, the First Army departed all the way from Germany, France, and Italy in August of 1096. They made it to Constantinople with 4,000 knights and 25,000 infantry, and some of them were women and children. By the time they got to Jerusalem, they had lost half of their people to starvation, disease, and injuries. In the following months, they were able to conquer Jerusalem to protect it. In the process, they had also slaughtered many of the city's civilians. Most left Jerusalem to return home, but a few thousand stayed to protect it. This was one of the only victories of the Christians. Through the next couple hundred years, many crusades were made, and many ended in the slaughter of Muslims and Jews, and even the selling of children into slavery to help fund the army. In 1291, all hope was lost when the Western occupation was lost in the Holy Lands. The failures made the people doubt God's will and question the authority of the Church. They now replaced their regretful harm to the Muslims, and the hate was replaced by knowledge, respect, and tolerance. In the end, we are all able to live with each other together in peace and tolerance. Our dark history helped us to learn from our mistakes and forge a better friendship between our religions.
Let's go. I don't like your religion.
Get off our land!
Fight me!
Thank you for watching our newscast today. Tune in tomorrow for our next big story.